What would you like to hear first? The good news or the bad news? Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Look, before you watch this video, I'd like you to quickly do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel, become part of the BayernNow community. We're slowly growing, but surely we'll get there. I don't know what there is. It could be 1 billion subscribers, because if there's 7 billion people on Earth, there has to be 7 billion Bayern fans. But this is some bad news. Bad news. Would you like the bad news first or the bad news second? Let's talk about the bad news. Basically, in relation to King Kai Havertz, Bayern are pulled out of the race, according to Sports Bild. And as we know, Bild are technically the most reliable Bayern source. Now, they've gotten a lot of stories wrong, but they happen to be a Bayern primary source, which means if you wanted to hear a story firsthand, you have to get it from Bild, because I think Bild probably gets some information, a lot of information out of Bayern, the actual club. Look at this way. So Bayern apparently aren't willing to just buy Kai Havertz this summer, because guess what? Thomas Müller is playing the way he is, and there's no logic, right? But Bayern aren't considering signing him in 2020 this summer, but in 2021, which is just Bayern's way. I don't know. Is this real? It's coming out from Bild, so it has to be, right? But it just doesn't make any sense to me. There's a giant hole. It's like a donut, right? This is like a donut. And then there's another donut in there, and there's a hole in that one. There's 2 holes. And I don't understand why Bayern wouldn't be in for a player we need. And we were talking about it, and we've been talking about it since he said it. Our director of football, Hassan Salamander, who's been evolving, doing amazing business, came out a few months ago and said Bayern are going to sign this was before the pandemic, I think. Bayern are going to sign a top European star, which we all identify that to be Leroy Sané, because he's one of the best in Europe in his position, and a German international star, which we know to be Kai Havertz, because he's slowly becoming German, that star. He's not world class just yet, because he's not playing in a world class team, but that's what he said. And he said we would sign both these players this summer. And also, we know this for a fact. We're in for Sergino Dest. I think I'll talk about it after I make this video. It'll come out 4 hours later, but I'm making this now so I can watch the Premier League. By the way, if you want to watch me do the Premier League watch-along, you should join the channel. The link will be in the description. So come out and join us on the chat. Everyone's there. So on the other channel, I'm not doing it on this channel. But this is a very annoying story, isn't it? Because it's conflicting itself. On one side of the things, you can understand why Bayern would be looking for Kai Havertz. On the other side of things, you can understand why it'd be expensive. But you can also see it from the perspective of our own director of football saying things like that. Look, is Bayern going to just allow Kai Havertz to leave and go to Chelsea knowing the player they'd be losing in the process? No. Will Bayern definitely lose the player if they allow him to stay at Leverkusen and Chelsea actually be like, you know what, we'll get him? Chelsea are in a great position financially, because think about this. Chelsea didn't do business in 2018 and the 19 season. They were transfer banned. They got Mateo Kovacic. I think he was on loan, and then they permanently signed him. Chelsea aren't a poor club. They're more reckless. We're a richer club, wealthier. We make more money. We're like 4th for the richest clubs in the world. Man United, Barcelona is in the same category. We're rich, we make money. But Chelsea are reckless with money, which means they have more money technically, because Abramovich and his mafia money. Kill you today, bring you to Madame Moscow. He's worth 13 billion, so if he wanted, he could literally own every single player and club in this world if he wanted. But this is just the consideration we have to look at, that Chelsea is in the pole position, and they didn't actually spend any money on the Hazard money. Where did that go? The Morata money. These little accumulation of transfer fees that they got from selling and offloading players. Where's that money going? Now they have Werner. Werner's coming in. Ziyech is coming in. And I'm sure they'll want to bring Kai Havertz in. Now, the situation with Havertz isn't about whether or not Bayern Munich, are going to financially go for Havertz, because technically, coming into this window, we were all made to believe that Bayern had a war chest before the pandemic of 250 million that they were willing to splash on Sané. because technically Sane would have returned for City, played games, and would probably be in form, and that would justify City asking a higher price. So we were definitely ready to pay at least close to 80 million or something for Sane. And if you look at last summer, we were technically also ready to pay 110, 120 million for Sane. We were ready to break the bank for these players. We paid 80 million on Lucas Hernandez, release clause. Close to 40 million on Benjamin Pavard. We have paid money for players. We aren't afraid to do it. And people think we're so frugal. No, we're frugal in terms of players that we know we can get a cheaper price for, but we aren't frugal when it comes to signings we need. So, Bayern, think about it. We couldn't sign Sane, so we got Coutinho and Perisic on loan. So all of a sudden, Sane's transfer fee, whatever it would have costed us, now comes over into this window. It didn't go to January because we didn't sign anyone in January. We needed a backup right back because Kimmich moved to midfield and Pavard was our only solution to the right back position. So all of a sudden, the money that you were going to spend on Sergino Dest or any right back now goes into the summer budget. And now you need an attacking midfielder because technically, I thought Muller was going to leave in October because he wasn't playing, he wasn't having fun. He actually said it himself that he considered leaving. I mean, he was going to leave. He said he spoke to clubs in before January, before Hansi Flick fully, just started making everyone love the club again. But if Muller was going to leave, I had the belief that Bayern were going to spend money on an attacking midfielder who was going to be the best for the next 10 years, who was like Thomas Muller, intellectually smart like Muller, and technically better than Muller. I mean, Havertz is, and that was the money that we were going to also put in the summer budget this summer. So it is not a coincidence that I'm skeptical what Bilder's saying because Bayern have the money. We set aside a lot of money, and the only situation is we started playing like a world-class team under Hansi Flick. So it doesn't really necessarily make sense. All of a sudden, Muller is playing like the greatest cam ever. 21 assists so far this season. All of a sudden, we have wingers that are okay, performing okay. We have Coutinho. All of a sudden, it looks like we have depth. But I keep going back to this point. If Perisic leaves, honestly, why would Bayern even waste money on Perisic if they could just spend that on Sane and Havertz? Just put any money you'd spend on Perisic on Sane and Havertz because it's more worth it. But you have Perisic, Coutinho, or Odriozola who leave. Guaranteed you need another right back. Guaranteed you need a winger. Guaranteed you need a cam, a central attacking midfielder like Coutinho. Guaranteed. Now, people aren't going to complain about Coutinho being on the bench costing us the amount of wages he's costing, but they'll complain about us signing Kai Havertz and him staying on the bench to eventually be a starter. Also, Kai Havertz would learn a lot from Muller, and he also would play games. So this is a very confusing concept for me. I don't know. Bild have come out with... They came out a few days ago and said Bayern don't care about a right back. They're satisfied with Pavard completely. And then a few days later, they come out and say Bayern make Sergino Dest their right back priority, which is a very odd thing to say considering you just said we're not in for a right back. So look, I'm not going to believe Bild because they also came out and said Bayern are going to sign Sane at this time. Bayern are in negotiations with City. We weren't. So look, this is what news is. This is what transfer stories are. We like talking about them because it makes football more fun. It just is more entertaining to talk about these transfers. We just enjoy it. I don't know what it is about us fans. In basketball here in the US, the NFL draft, no one talks about it this much. A player signs, like, for example, Tom Brady. He's going to LA, the LA Rams, I think. He's going to LA to play from the Patriots. It's almost like a Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo going to Juventus. People don't care that much. So I think it's only a European thing. I'm not European and I care. Like in basketball, the same thing. The switches, the trades, in baseball, the trading, it isn't as talked about as much, and I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy talking about transfers here. I really do. So thank you everyone so much for tuning into this. I mean, look, this is what I said. I said this: Bayern will sign Kai Havertz and Leroy Sané and Sergino Dest this summer, and I stand by that. But it's always about the development. Tomorrow you'll hear a story that Bayern are in amazing position to sign Kai Havertz. And then you'll hear one say Bayern aren't. And then you'll hear one say Chelsea pull out of the race. And then you'll hear one say Chelsea join the race. You'll keep hearing this. And guess what? This is a negotiation tactic. If Leverkusen know Bayern can pay the money this summer and Havertz wants to leave, all of a sudden Havertz is going to be like, hey, maybe I should make my interest known to Bayern that I want to join them. And I'm not just bluffing. It's business, isn't it? It's what happens. It's called social proof. It's called, oh, we don't need you, right? If you go to a girl with the confidence like, oh, I don't need you, I don't need to have you, you go up to her in that way, she's going to find you more attractive. She's going to be like, oh, this guy doesn't want me. He's not just going to simp for me. He's not just going to be the guy. He's actually really independent. He's himself. He doesn't care that I'm a woman and I'm attracted to him. He doesn't care about these things. He only treats me like a human being. He says he doesn't want me. Now I want him. That's how women are. And that's how I think Havertz is. Players are. For example, Man United were like, hey, we don't need Bruno Fernandes. And Fernandes even showed his interest more. Bayern didn't want Timo Werner for 2 seasons. And guess what? He twerked for us for 2 years. Until Bayern Munich, our director of football had to publicly come out and say, Timo Werner doesn't fit our system. He should go somewhere else. We wish him the best. That's what Bayern said. That's what Hassan Salamander said. And then Hansi Flick was like, yeah, he's a good player. Cool. Good luck to him. Bayern don't give a crap if we don't want a player. And we do want Havertz. That's the thing. So I'm not on this Bayern don't want Havertz train. People are just going to jump on this. Like I did. I jump on everything. I'm deluded. Look at the way I sound. Even though there's a decent source saying Bayern aren't in for Havertz, I'm convinced we're in for him. That's what I am. I'm deluded. You're deluded too. We're all deluded. So you might think this player is the best player of all time because he played for your club. I think Lewandowski is gonna go down after he wins a few Champions Leagues. 2. I think he'll win 2 at Bayern. He'll go down as one of the greatest strikers in the world just because of that. But if he doesn't, guess what? People won't think of Lewandowski. They'll think of Benzema because they'll automatically go, oh, let's look at how many Champions Leagues they won. And then they'll look at how many Champions League goals they scored, how many final goals they scored, how many finals they were in. And this is what football is about. It's so opinionated. All of us are so deluded. We love being deluded. But yeah, this is it for this stream. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I have things to go do. I have to actually go live and talk about different transfer news. I hope everyone does enjoy this Havertz saga because I'm enjoying it. I like hearing the twist. Even though a lot of you Chelsea fans are like very deluded, I like it. I enjoy you. I think you're very good people. As long as we can all agree that, on certain things like Messi's the greatest player of all time. We can agree on these little things. Franz Beckenbauer's best center back of all time and the first one to ever win a Ballon d'Or. As long as we can agree on these types of things, we'll be good. We'll get along better and we'll be better people. Arjen Robben, one of the best wingers of all time. We can all agree on these things. You and I had Robben. Bayern had Robben and Chelsea had Robben. All right? So let's agree. Robben was cold if he wasn't injured. Thank you everyone so much for watching this. I gotta go. Mia san mia and peace. Imagine this is literally a day after we announced Kausi. I don't think we announced him, but it's like Bayern just wants to pile the bad news, man. It's so annoying. Why? Why can't you just have good news for an entire day?